everyone, hope you're doing great. I apologize for the delay between videos, but I've been kind of caught up in the blues of winter here in Windsor, Ontario. Not a lot to do here in the winter time, unfortunately. We don't get enough consistent snow to really do any cross-country skiing or anything, so it is what it is. Anyways, I thought, as you could tell in the title of this video, that I would get into the evolution of my touring setup all the way back in 2019 when I started to now. So it's kind of come a long ways and evolved from the trailer setup to where I am now. I will be leaving in the beginning of May sometime to start the touring season. I'll be riding up to Arnprior from Windsor, Ontario to meet up with Andy, who's going to be my touring partner for this summer. So Andy, if you're watching, we only got a couple more months, buddy, and we're back at her. Really looking forward to that. And Andy and I are going to be riding together this summer because of me doing the shout outs in my videos, asking if anybody wanted to join me. So again, if anybody wants to join us, let us know, because we're pretty open to changing plans and modifying if we have to. So anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video, and let's get into this one. All right, guys, to talk about the evolution of my setup, we have to go back to 2019, which is when I really started getting into touring. I've always been into bikes. I've been a bike mechanic for the last 20 years, but the touring thing really just came on more recently. So I had a 2017 Trek Fuel EX8 full suspension bike at the time. I had seen some people in videos using the Burley Coho XC trailer. I thought it would be a good setup, but as I really found out quickly on this tour, the torque that the trailer puts on the linkage is just too much, and the linkage actually started falling apart. The bolts were completely falling out. I did retighten them. I was able to finish the trip, but all in all, I just found out that this was not a good setup. And I think anybody that knows anything about touring would realize that. I didn't have any bags on the bike. The trailer was very overloaded, so I learned a lot from that, and learned that a full suspension mountain bike is just not the greatest thing to tour with, even if you weren't pulling a trailer, right? The disadvantages of pulling a trailer are pretty significant, especially when you get into some pretty hilly areas. So the next year, I thought the trailer would still be good, and I switched to the Trek 1120, but I still found out that the troubles from that were pretty significant. While the 1120 was definitely a better bike to pull the trailer with and came through with flying colors, no damage to the bike, no bolts coming loose or anything like that, it was still really hard, especially in BC and on Vancouver Island, where I found myself in some pretty tough hike of bike situations. Anytime the gradient gets above a certain percentage, the trailer is just too hard to pull when it's fully loaded, and that is really where the main disadvantage lies. I will still be using it for shorter trips, like 3 to 7 days, but going forward, it will never be used for anything really long distance again. Like I said, everything is good on the trailer. I have nothing to complain about the Burley Coho XC, and if you are looking for a trailer, I do recommend it, but trailers are just too hard for extended tours, in my opinion. All right, so for 2020, I did drop the trailer, as you can see, and I kind of started getting into the setup that I really want more now going forward. For 2020, I had the Ortlieb Back Roller Classic pannier bags. I also had a dry bag on the back that's not in this picture as well. I'll be losing that as well this year and going with a trunk bag, the Ortlieb frame pack 4 liter, the Ovea Negra chuck bucket, whether you want to use that for holding water, the Jones handlebar pack, and that is the Revelates Design Salty Roll, and that is where my tent and fly and my sleeping stuff like that are in, and of course the GoPro. So this was a great setup, guys. I really have no complaints about it. The big switch I have from this year, as you will see when I show my setup for 2022, is I switched out the the Salsa EXP anything bags that are on the front to the Ortlieb Sport Packer Classic bags, where it's more the lid, but you'll see that in the next photos. This was a great setup. I just found that because I ended up taking too many motels and hotels last year, I'm trying to get my setup so that I can carry everything I need to sleep. And those front bags were just too small. So with the new Ortlieb front panniers, I should be all set. I should be able to get a lot more on board and carry the things I need for sleeping. So this is the setup for 2022, guys. And as you can see, the front panniers on the front are the main change. The Ortlieb Sport Packer Classics. So as you can see, there is a trunk bag on here. This is not the trunk pack that I'm going to be using. I will be using a Louis Garneau, but otherwise everything is pretty much the same except for the bags and that rack on the front, as you'll see. The rack is an Arkell Lowrider AC. I had to modify it as I've explained in a previous video, and it seems to have turned out quite well. So I really anticipate that this setup, guys, is going to be able to allow me to travel comfortably and allow me to do a lot more camping and take way less motels. And that will be the key for me financially. So guys, that is the evolution from 2019 to present day. I do anticipate there'll be some little tweaks here and there. We're always doing that. Us guys that tour, we like to do things to our setups. We see things that work better. There's bags that we might want to add, stuff like that. But I think this kind of setup with the bag setup is what I'm going to be going with going forward. So if anybody has any comments or would like to share their setup with me, let me know in the comments below. And if you've watched the video to this long, guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like button, all that stuff. For some strange reason, hitting the like button and all that seems to really help with the YouTube analytics and getting the videos out there to people to see. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.